Hey there, brothers and sisters. Vessel of Truth here. Jay from Virginia for the new people. Um, just wanted to do a video. It's not the one I've been telling you about. It's almost 12:30 here, so been a busy day. So I want to be able to have time to do what's right for you all, to be able to lay everything out and not be rushed. But I wanted to just kind of come on here and talk about a few things. It's been a very sobering day for me. And just praying, talking to the Father, and while I was talking to Him, and of course, I was still reading the Word, and that He put in my spirit Hosea chapter 4. So, of course, we're going to take a look at Hosea chapter 4. But I also want to talk about, the days and times in which we live in right now. It is sorely unbelievable the amount of people that are totally clueless about what is really going on. All they can see is, what's going on in the natural. They have no clue to what's going on beyond that human vision. If people would just have eyes to see, beyond what's going on in the natural, they would see a knockdown, drag out fight going on in the spiritual. And these same people are the ones that don't want to hear a word that we have to say. The time is coming that they'll be wanting answers, but I just pray the Lord have mercy upon them and allow them to get answers then. But you know as well as I do, the word doesn't quite go in their favor in that situation. So, as you know, there are so many things going on. People are just going along to get along. They're wearing their masks. They're rolling up their sleeve. They're allowing them to make their children take the venom. And I'm a firm believer that now that the children are no longer safe, that the Father is not going to allow this to go on much longer without something bad coming. Yet, at the same time, you have many instances throughout the Bible where the Father just left people to fend for themselves because of their rebellion. And to a point, I think we are in one of those times. It is unlike any other time in history right now. You figure we are truly watching prophecy be fulfilled before our very eyes. You figure right now we know exactly where we're at in the book of Revelation. For the first time, all nations are deceived and pushing the sorceries, which is pharmakia. I saw a video about Australia where they were talking about they're training the military right now to go door to door and to do force jabs and then to head off into the woods to get those who have fled as well. All the things that's happening over there is coming this way. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be the day after tomorrow. But I can guarantee you it's coming. And to be bluntly honest, there's not a thing any one of us can do about it. I made a video, I don't even remember how long ago it was, but we have allowed those who rule us to get so powerful that we the people no longer have a choice. If we gather together, all they have to do is turn on the Gwyn Towers. For those who don't know what the Gwyn Towers are, please go and look it up. GWEN. Go Google it. They're not even hiding the information. What they do is they send off frequencies, and they can do three things. They can, A, make you fall asleep. B, they can make you go insane and say you're armed and you will just start killing all the people around you. Or they can kill you. Just basically bakes you like being in a microwave. Because those frequencies react with the water that our body has in it. You know, we're basically, 80% water, 70% water, I think. Either way, it gives us a very bad day. I think if things ever come to that, I'm a firm believer that, just as the Father protected Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace and Daniel in the lion's den, I believe that no weapon that they will form will prosper against us. Whether or not, that means if we gathered up together, it wouldn't have an effect, I don't know. But even at that, we can't beat the sheer numbers that they have. They've had private armies for countless years. They have their own private militias and mercenaries. They have all the best weapons, all limitless ammo. They have, of course, the ships, the bombs, the planes, and drones, and all the technology on their side. The days of, the citizens being able to really take a stand against the government are over. And they've been over for a long time, and they know this. It's just, there are a lot of people that have yet to swallow that bitter pill. And, I don't like it, but it is the truth. And to me, it's sad that, people haven't really come to the knowledge of how bad things are getting. You figure people right now are so soft that I don't think they can fathom the evil that is coming. And the reason we're so soft is most people, if they had to go and survive in the wilderness, they couldn't. Yeah, anybody can shoot something, for food. But do you know what to do with a deer after you kill it? Do you know how to, dress it, clean it? Most people don't. Do you know what vegetation is edible and what isn't? Do you know how to find water? And if you can find water, do you know how to make a purifier to purify that water? There's all kinds of things that it's going to thin out the people. And then you have people that are so soft-hearted, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, that if they had to fend for themselves and hunt to get their own food, they wouldn't, because they couldn't bear taking a life of an animal. Think about it. All the people that have pets. Could you stand and allow someone to break your cat's neck right in front of you for food? Cats aren't kosher, by the way. Just an example. I know people that if their animal was in danger, they would take the mark just to save their animal. Then you have these people that they think they're in right standing with the Father, but yet still living like a heathen. And no matter what, they don't want to hear the truth. Yeah, their day's coming, but that's still people, our brothers and sisters, that are going to fall. And many of them are going to fall by the wayside and end up where I pray no one goes. But we know the truth. Wide is the road to destruction, and many go that route. People don't want to make waves. They don't want to stand up for what's right. But yet, from the time of the fall of man forward, man has fought left and right for that which is right. Yeah, you also have the stories of where man left the Father and went whoring around to other little g gods, and the Father disciplined them and punished them. And here we are today. Let's read Hosea chapter 4, just a little bit of it here. It says, "Hear the word of the Lord, Elohim, ye children of Israel." We are the children of Israel. It's not about a land. It's about a people, the Hebrews. For Yahuah hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of Yahuah in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven. Yeah, the fishes of the sea shall be taken away. How many people have seen all the fish that's coming up on shore, just millions of them dead upon the shores of all different countries, not only our country in the United States, but over in England and France, all over the place. Fish are dying by the millions. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with a priest. Who are the people that strive with a priest? Those who are in sin. Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night. Why is that? Because all we have is like I told you in the other video, the prophets that we have, well, let me put it this way. The so-called prophets that we have today are liars. They're just telling you whatever pizza dream that they had, or maybe it's a sardine dream, or maybe it's their willful thinking. They are not by any stretch of the imagination prophesying the word of Yahuah, because Yahuah has not said any of the things that they have said. I challenge you, go and watch their videos, because some of them haven't even removed all the videos that they said the word of the Lord said, but yet none of it came to pass. They are false prophets and worthy of death, drawing people away from the truth. So, prophets shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother. Now the verse that I really want to get to, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Most people stop right there. They only quote, my people were destroyed for lack of knowledge. But what else does it say? It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge. Getting personal. That's right. All the people that you go and you're reaching out to in love to try to pull them back from the fire, they reject the truth. It goes on. It says, I will reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. See, we're all kings and priests through Christ's finished work when we come to him. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy Yahuah. What about that? We don't have to keep the law or the Torah. I will also forget your children. See, there are all kinds of people that think they know Yahuah, but yet they have no relationship with him because they do not keep the law. The only way we can show that we love the Father is through our actions, and our actions are obedience to his Torah, his law. You have all kinds of people that just think that they're so smart, and they know the word of Yahuah, but yet they have not learned the most important thing. You want to know? Okay, yeah, I heard that. Well, what's that, Jay? Well, the most important thing to learn is that knowledge without action is worthless. Wow. Got silent. Let me say that again. Knowledge without action is worthless. Well, what does that mean? Okay. From the time of the ascension of Christ, we were given a mandate to further the gospel message, to go and preach and teach to all the world the truth, the gospel of the kingdom, to be watchmen on the wall, to be our brother's keeper, to love our neighbor like ourselves. But what do you see? What do you see today? Honestly. You see a bunch of bickering and fighting, tale-bearing, confusion, discord, separation, lies and half-truth. I mean, there is only one Yahuah, one Elohim, but yet there's couple million denominations or so, if not more. I don't know. I know there's thousands. I don't know about millions. I wouldn't doubt it, though. And it's like, why? And then when you go back and you do the research about why the children of God started, why did they change and come up with this thing, the Baptists? Well, that's because there was this dude long time ago that got offended at something that the regular child of God was saying, and he didn't agree with it. So he come up with this, I'm going to call myself a Baptist, and he started a church. Well, then somebody in his baptism, his Baptist so-called church meeting thing, they got offended at him. So they broke off and they started another gathering. And he said, I'm going to call myself a Methodist or a Pentecostal or a Free Will Baptist or whatever. And it just kept going and going and going, the snowball effect. And you know, the Father didn't do a thing about it because he tells us in his word, he hates. The creator of everything says he hates the Nicolaitan model. But yet you have people flocking to be a part of that Nicolaitan model every Sunday. What is that Nicolaitan model? That is what we call the church today. You have this one dude, fat cat dude, who just knows it all. And he stays up on stage or a pulpit, whatever, and he lords over a whole congregation, stifling the movement of the Spirit, because the Father tells us in his word that every child of his has a gift to be given and shared with the body. But in the Nicolaitan model, the only person that ever says anything is the fat cat. He's in total control, lording over the congregation. And these fat cats who call themselves preachers, teachers, or evangelists, you know, they're in a position that is not even an office. A preacher is a gift of the Spirit. We are all to be a preacher or a teacher or an evangelist or whatever, even a prophet from time to time, because it is a gift, not an office. And that snowball effect just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, the day's coming when the Father's going to turn the blowtorch on and it's all going to dissolve. All the lies, all the half-truths will be revealed. The chosen frozen will be thawed out quickly. The millions upon millions of people just waiting to fly away before anything bad happens. I don't even understand the logic, but yet I have to admit, at one time in my life, I used to believe in that pre-tribulation rapture. But then from pre-tribulation rapture, I went to a midpoint tribulation rapture. And then I came to the post-tribulation rapture. And it was at that time the Father woke me up to his truth, and I threw it all out the window, because Christ never taught a rapture of any kind. He only taught the resurrection of the dead on the last day. And I'll go with that, because that's what he taught. That's what I'll believe. Man is the one who introduced the rapture doctrine, which is all based on one word out of the book of Thessalonians, the harpazo. And you can't even talk to these people that believe in the rapture, because whenever you say that you don't believe in the rapture, automatically they consider you a heretic or a non-believer or a lost soul. You know, they'll pity you for your unbelief. And I usually walk away and pity them for their heresy of what they believe. They can't see the forest for the trees. And, back years ago, I used to want to argue and debate, just knowing that sooner or later I could convince them. No. You cannot change anyone's mind. Because during that whole time that you're trying to debate and show them the word, they have pride. And they cannot admit to themselves that they were wrong. We were all there at one time or another. Like to think of myself back when I was in my 20s, a long time ago. If someone would have come to me then with the truth that I know now, would I have listened to them? I may never know, but I like to think that I would have at least listened to them, because I've always been one of them people that I wasn't rude. I would listen to people and just walk away and think, boy, they're kooky. I wouldn't argue with them then, but I've always, kind of had that level head of wanting to hear what people had to say, even if it didn't line up with what I said. And that's only because the Word tells us that for anyone who hears a matter and dismisses it right away is a fool. We should always hear a matter out before, making a decision whether we believe it or not. And then all this plays into where we're at today. The shape that the church is in is totally bust and just ungodly. There is no power. There's nothing in these four-wall church abominations other than a bill for people to pay. That being your tithe. So they can keep the lights on, or make the parking lot bigger, or, remodel and make the steeple a little bigger. There are places that church hasn't even been open, but yet they're they sent out their little letters saying, hey, could you please continue to pay your tithes? Even though we're not open, we need to keep the lights on. And of course, the little fat cat needs his check because he don't have a real job. And, I disagree with that because it's totally contrary to the Word of Yahuah. We should never make money off the Word of Yahuah. Never. The Word tells us, freely we received, freely we give. And if you are making money off of giving what you received free, shame on you. You will account for it on Judgment Day. I guarantee it. How would you like it if the Father charged you for the knowledge to become a child of His? What's it worth to you? How dare you call yourself a child of Yahuah, but yet you're going to charge your fellow brother or sister for the knowledge of the truth? Wow. How evil is that? But yet, of course, they're all going to tell you, making a little money's not bad. Everything about this world is tainted. And if you were really walking in accordance to the Father, you don't have any friends. You'd be just like me. You have a lot of acquaintances, people that will talk to you while you're at work or something like that, but they're not going to hang out with you later because you can't talk about what they talk about. They're full of worldly knowledge and things. Me, I like to talk about the Bible. I like to discuss it. I like to theorize. I like to pray. I like to worship. I like to study. You have to work the relationship with the Father. And if you're not working the relationship of the Father, you're going to be sorely found wanting when they flip the switch. Because you will have no protection. So many weak people out there that think that, they're going to be gone before it all begins. And then they're still going to be sitting here when it all begins. What will they think? I know what the enemy will make them think, will want them to think. See there, this whole God thing is all a bunch of hooey. It's all a bunch of bull. And a lot of them will believe it. And it's funny that all these pre-tribulation rapture people, they don't have an answer for, Christ telling us that we will suffer and we'll be captured and put in prison, and we will suffer for 10 days. And then he tells us that if we endure to the end, he'll give us the crown of life. What about that being captured and suffering tribulation for 10 days? And if you endure, I'll give you a crown of life. Who are those? Then you have, in Thessalonians where it tells us point blank that the man of sin will not be revealed. I mean, for that day will not come until the man of sin is revealed. And then you have all this other information that he gives us about the Antichrist. Why is he worried about giving us all this information about someone that we're not going to have any dealings with because we're all going to fly away? They can't answer that one either. It's time that we become realistic. And I've give out numbers before. And in the video to come, I'm going to make a huge statement, but truth of the matter is, in the end, few people making it. Just as, it says, wide is the gate to destruction and narrow is the gate to life, and few there are that find it. In your mind, how many is few? going on, past numbers that the Word has given us. Whenever it's the Father doing the sifting, usually it turns out that 99% are left. And that tiny 1% is what he takes. Are you part of the 1%? Only you can answer it. But honestly, are you obeying the words of Yahuah? Are you striving to keep his Sabbaths? Striving to figure out and do the feasts? Are you abiding by the dietary laws? Are you keeping his statutes, his commandments? Going to a house called a church, a four-wall thing, every Sunday. Sorry, you're not going to get any brownie points for that because, one, we're the church. Two, the Father says that he doesn't abide in a building. He abides in us. So truly, honestly, are you part of that 1%? Do you remember the Sabbath, the seventh day Sabbath, his Sabbath? Do you love your brothers and sisters as yourself? Are you doing your best to not talebear, to not lie, to not steal, to not envy, to not adulterize? I'm not telling you it's easy, but I'm telling you to be part of that 1%. This is what is necessary. Yes, we have to believe, but no, we do not keep the law and that for our salvation. Remember, we are judged by our works, not our faith. Our faith is what gets us to the judgment, to receive the life eternal. If our works don't get burned up. Are you truly 100% sold out to the Father? Or are you playing games? And when I say playing games, I mean today you're hot, tomorrow you're not. You'll read your Bible today and tomorrow, but then you forget about it for a week or so. And then you come back to it. Those are the people that are playing games. I've been guilty of that before in my life. But since the Father reignited the fire in me, I cannot get enough of him. Every single day. It is my life because I owe my life to him. Are you living like you owe your life to him? Are you your brother's keeper? Are you witnessing? Are you doing all you can do to live as an example to others? I'm going to leave it at this. Are you part of that 1%? If you died right now, where will you go? One of the easy judgments you can do on yourself is get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On one side, put all the time that you spend with worldly stuff. TV, music, shopping, just laying around doing nothing, or, going to concerts, whatever. And then on the other side, write all the time in a regular day that you spend with the Father. Time you read the Word, time you studied the Word, prayer, worship, witnessing to others, praying for others, intercession, travailing over, the tyranny and that's going on in the world. And then total it up. Whichever you have the most time in tells your future of where you may just end up. If you're more worldly, the Father says that the friend of the world is the enemy of God. If you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you. And then, as I showed in one of my last videos, First John chapter 2, verses 3, 4, and 5. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keeps not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of Yahuah perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. Brothers and sisters, please think about this. For the first time ever, we know where we're at. All nations are being deceived with pharmakia, sorceries, just as it says so in the book. Are you part of that 1%? If your heart stopped beating right now, would you make it? Only you and the Father can answer it. And I don't mean to be so somber, but it's time we get right. There's a lot of people that need help. And the Father said that the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. Pray that you'll be a laborer. I'm going to leave it at that, my brothers and sisters. Judge yourself according to the Word. I love every one of you. I wouldn't be telling you this stuff and sharing with you the things that, the Father has impressed me with and that's on my mind if I didn't love you and care for you. I want every single person within the sound of my voice to make it. Only you can put in the effort and the action that it takes. So until next time, keep seeking the face of the Father and working the relationship with Him. Trust Him for everything because He has it all under control. I love you all. Yahuah bless you. I'm still having trouble with this little button. But as always, I love y'all. If it'll work.